Hello guys, so today I'm going to be talking about Lucian, one goalkeeper that was once ranked as the top non-legendary goalkeepers but did get slightly nerfed, and there was the introduction of Angela. So let's get started. As always, he's a goalkeeper, but unlike most of them, he can't be used in back line, with a little bit of a difference in stone build to max out on his heel line passive. The only big difference is you would actually change both Andor slot to Andor reflex and he would work. So let's get into his skills. First thing is he does have a decent ace for Andor and Wormwind, so you could use that. So skill-wise, he has an active block that does a DR of 60%, who's pretty cool and could be useful multiple times. It does have a 20-minute cooldown, so it's more of a one time in the game you're going to be using it, but it can still block the first shot, especially if you're fighting a strong opponent. Then he has a charge bullet, recover 30% of the action bar, and 50% spirit when being attacked. Now this is why I'm saying that he can be used outside of the goalkeeper slot, because the action bar when being shot at is automatically 100, but the spirit gen is actually pretty cool, especially if you're doing some COT or COD, so it's really not something you can neglect. But as always, I'm going to say this is the skill you're going to max out last, because it doesn't actually give him any survival. Then we have Mystic, Alchemistic, Martial Arts. Really, why do they make them so long? Increase max life and critical resistance, something you need on every goalkeeper. Nothing wrong with that. And then this is what we call his bread and butter. Recover 15% of the life of the allies within the position first, and reduce damage by 15% when attacked. So again, this is actually completely wrong. What it's going to do is when you're shot at, it's going to heal, well, 7.5 in PvP and 15 in PvE. It's going to heal 15%, but that is only going to apply on dead people after he's been shot at, while the living people are going to get it before. So it's kind of a weird mechanic. The idea was he can't always have a 3-man defense or 2-man defense or whatever blocking the shot, so he needs to be able to take at least one solo shot, or that would be completely broken. Reducing 15% is also pretty cool. So he basically has life, DR, self-heal, a bit of a spirit gen, and a decent active. Now stone-wise, I'm going to say with the new stone changes, he might have one of the best stone base builds that you can find out there. Now the one thing I would say is if that Andor had been Thunder, it would have been perfect, but as you know, the blocked slot is the one of the official elements, so it's not like we can re-roll it. So let's get right into it. What stones would we give a Lucian? Very first thing is you did see he had some DR, but he didn't have an extensive amount. So we're usually going to go for protection of Mother Earth. He's going to give crit res and decrease inflicted damage. Two of the best stats you can look for in a goalkeeper, and he already has the slot, so it's not like you need to 7-star him. So I would say throw this as his unique. That should be completely fine. In the dark stones, you're going to throw a dark life stone, because it's going to do DR when being attacked and going to give him max life, maxing out on the fact that he's a healing goalkeeper. And then for the Andor slot, you're usually going to go in for the DR, because it's going to give recovery power, or you could even go for the defense stone, but I wouldn't advise it. Now, until you got the unique, I would even say go for the Andor DR and go for anything you want in the Wormwind, or you could go straight for the Wormwind DR and give the Andor defense, or vice versa. It makes no difference. The idea, both of the DRs have exactly the same passives, so one of them needs to be the DR, the other one needs to be the defense. But of course, it's much better if you directly start working with an Andor DR, because you're just going to be keeping it. For the Prime slot, well, with the new stones, it's automatically going to be this one, Life, DR. He's a healing goalkeeper. I think this is pretty much a no-brainer. There should not be any differences in his build. The only thing that some people have actually tried to do is to throw on him a star tier. I'm again not going to advise that, because he already got the self-heal. There's no other real good contender to be pulled on him, and if you're running an Andor line, it should normally be fine. Now, let's go back on a chain level where I'm going to say he is really lacking like a lot of Season 1 players. So in his chains, the only real valuable player he has is Erica. The second one is Mimi, so that was kind of annoying to activate for anyone who has him. I hope you guys have picked up Mimi right away, because if you don't, it's going to take forever to activate this chain. On top of it, it's an affection, and she buffs his life 20%, so she's really cool with him. Then these are basically 2, 3, 4 stars. One's a rival, it's really not worth it. Nemesis, I'm sorry to say this, but if you find a Hercules, that person is not playing PvP. And even in PvE, that means he's got 4,000 or 5,000 lives, so it's pretty bad. The problem is that there's a Metatron Nemesis link, so it's just never going to activate either. And then you got a Dale rival link. I guess when you're going to be facing that Mono Dark team, it's valuable. But it's just rival, so again, it's not really that great. On a skin level, I'm going to say this skin doesn't feel right. It feels like a dark skin. It does look cool, but it just doesn't feel right to me. And on the basic skins, I'm going to say they're all pretty cool. My personal fave is actually his Evo skin, but that's, again, a question of personal taste. What should you be running him with in backline? The best is usually going to be Kevin, Erica, Death Queen, maybe Yuri, Shu, Golf, any of the 3 you want. That's just going to give you a nice backline, but really, Kevin and Death Queen are really good with him because they're really going to max out on survival of the line, and then that's going to allow him to heal them and making this last much longer. And then you put a healer penetrator in mid. So I hope this helps you guys understand the basics of how to build a Lucian. You shouldn't even have to spend any Dimension Stone to reroll him, so that's pretty cool. But you gotta know that Angela's also one of the contenders in the Andor section for best goalkeeper. I just made a build on what we're looking for in an Andor team, so you could also look at that if that's what you're looking to build. Have a good day, guys.